Hi, and welcome to Caretaker's Corner, where we discuss all things that have to do with caring for your elderly and disabled parents, your disabled spouses, or your adult disabled children. I'm CJ, and I'm here to help you on this journey. And this is going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be the last in a series, because as I keep coming up with these questions that you should ask yourself, I'll do a new video, but this is the last in this group that I've done. And this is a very important question. So I go to yoga twice a week, and my yoga instructor and I were discussing the situation she has. And she mentioned about, I was like, I was going over, are you ready to be a caretaker? And are you ready for the changes that requires? And she mentioned about possibly quitting her job. Now, this is going to be like I said, the last question in this little group. I plan on adding to this series as we go, but so this question is, what if I have to quit my job? Am I willing to put my career on hold, and can I afford to quit my job? And this is very important because I know, like, for my situation, that wasn't an option. Now, I'm at a point where we've got everything going financially and everything, that in the next year and a half, 2 years, I'm going to transition to working from the home. So that'll give me a better ability to take care of Barbara and any other family member that needs it at the time. But when Barbara started getting sick, it wasn't an option. I mean, I couldn't afford it. I had to work. And I was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And actually, it wasn't until around the pandemic that it got where I wasn't working. As a matter of fact, that was like the line for the 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I got like 5 weeks off for that, which was great. Got a lot of stuff done. And then went back to work. And so I work anywhere from, I work usually 11 hours a day, 5 days a week. So, I'm still doing a good working, but it was not an option. There was no way I could have quit my job. Now, would I be willing to put my career on hold for Barbara? Heck yeah. Would I for my dad? I don't know. I really don't. And that's something you got to think about. Is this a family member that you're willing to put your career on hold? I mean, I work in a factory and I love my job. Most people at my job do not say that. I really do love my job. And I've advanced there quite a bit. And what I plan to do in the next year and a half when I transition will be nothing like what I currently do at work. But would I be willing to stop that for Barbara? I would if I had the financial means to. Like, I can't go without earning money right now, but I am in a position where I will be able to safely and effectively transition and still be able to provide for all of our needs. I could say that I safely would put my career on hold for Barbara. And with the means, having the means, I would quit my job for Barbara. I would not do that for my dad. I mean, let's just face it, I would not. I would not have been willing to put my career on hold for my dad. I couldn't have afforded to quit my job anyway when I got dad. So you got to ask yourself on this one, obviously, you've got to go over your finances. You've got to think about insurance, because if you quit your job, you still have to have health insurance. So if your spouse can carry the insurance, then that will work. By the way, nothing in this video is financial advice, nor my financial advisor. So take that for what it's worth. I'm just a person on the internet talking to my phone. But you need to remember health insurance. Because no matter what, you're going to get sick at some point. You're going to need to go to the doctor. So if you quit your job, most people have their health insurance through their job. obviously you want to make sure about your financial situation, your retirement, your investments, all of, your basic budget on your monthly budgets and everything. Can you afford it? By combining households, will that make a difference? So, like, we were in fine enough shape that I did not have to actually bring Dad to live in the one house where we all live. He lived in one of my other houses. And so I didn't have to worry about combining the households. So, that's one of those things that we didn't have to worry about. As far as Barbara, she can't work. She doesn't get disability. And that's one reason why I work so much. So there was nothing there that was an option on her side. I have all sorts of problems with my stomach, so I had to have insurance. So keeping my job for insurance alone was a big decision on that. So that was another reason that I kept my job, was because of insurance. Because you got to remember, if you're going to quit your job or you're going to start working from home through starting a business of your own, then you still have to be able to get insurance off the marketplace and find it affordable that will cover all of your needs. Now, if you can find a job that pays for your insurance and does all that and be able to work from home, congratulations, you just hit the best of both worlds. You can continue work and stay at home and take care of your family. And that is truly the Goldilocks situation in this, to be able to handle and combine all of that. Because then you can, like I said, you can continue to get your insurance, you can continue to pay all your bills, you can continue to keep your career and take care of your family. But most of us are not going to be handed that Goldilocks situation. And then we're going to have to make those big decisions. Now, if you're working from home and you're taking care of family, I'm still going to let you know a very important thing that you need. A personal space. You need a space that you can go, that everybody understands it is not to be disturbed time, unless it's an emergency. Sometimes you just have to step away. And having your personal space is very, very important. You need a place where you can go and everybody understands, hey, they're taking a minute for themselves. They're taking a minute so that they can refresh themselves, and you can meditate, do it. I meditate. Do whatever you need to be able to get back in that good spot. Yes, sometimes just have to walk away. And so if you're going to work from home and you're going to be a home caretaker, and I'm not talking about children, obviously. I'm talking about your parents, your spouse, adult children, all disabled, elderly. Sometimes you have to step away and come back and get yourself back in line, get yourself positive, just breathe. Get that stress out, because you can feel it in your neck, you can feel it in your shoulders, all through your body. And sometimes you just got to step away and do that. And if you're going to be working from home, or you quit your job to stay at home and take care of your family member full time, you're going to need that space. The other thing is, if you're going to quit your job and you're going to be at home, you're going to need to be organized. Whether you're just going to be a caretaker, like a home wife or home husband, or if you're going to work from home, you're going to have to be highly organized and have a set schedule. So during the work week, I get up between 2 and 2:30 ideally every morning. On weekends, I sleep until about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So, and I try to be in bed by Sunday through Friday. I try and be in bed by 7, 8 o'clock at night. And, Friday, if I don't work Saturday and I don't work Sunday, I'm not as picky about what time I go to bed on Friday and Saturday nights, although I do try and keep it kind of on the level because I don't want to throw my schedule off too bad. I know that if I'm left alone and I don't have to work, like I'm on a week's vacation or we get 2 weeks off at Christmas, if I don't work hard to keep my schedule safe, I work third shift for decades. I will go back to a third shift schedule in 2 seconds, left to my own devices. So I have to be very, very punctual and very organized on things. You need to keep things organized because it helps you stay on a schedule, because you'll be surprised how, I don't want to say how native you go real quick, but that's just the term I use for it. You'll think, oh, well, I'll get to that later, and then later never comes. So if you plan on working from, if you plan on being a 100% home caretaker, then you need to be able to keep up with your schedule, really. But believe it or not, the more stuff you have to do, the more organized you tend to be, because you've got all this time that you have, all this stuff you have to get done in a limited amount of time. Like for me, I have all sorts of schedules going on Monday through Saturday, and Sundays are like today. We did a family day. My spare mother-in-law's in town, and so we went and we gambled, and then we went out to eat. Technically, this video is coming out a week after that, but that's all right. So Sundays are family days. Saturdays can be a family day, but Sundays, I get up, I cook breakfast for everybody in the house. I make sure my laundry gets done, folded, and put away. Make sure the video gets shot and posted, at least posted. I try to do a few videos at a time. And I do research on other video items and then topics. And then I'm trying to learn a bunch of different stuff on how to do better videos. So I use my time to learn all of that. And so, you've got to be structured. And I find that during the week with my job and everything, I'm a lot more structured. Weekends where I don't have to go to work, but I got projects to do, not as structured. And sometimes I get it all done and sometimes I don't. But I do try. So you've got to be able to be self-disciplined enough to do it, because you'd be surprised how quickly everything can go awry if you don't stay structured and organized. And I don't care what Barbara says, organized chaos is really not a thing. More time is lost and more stress is caused by things being disorganized and by not being structured. And I don't want to sound, I have OCD, but I don't want to sound like I'm being anal about this, but when you're a caretaker, especially of multiple people, you have to be able to know where person A's medicine is, where person B's medicine is. Where do you go get this person's medicine from at a pharmacy? Where does the other one come from? The same pharmacy, a different pharmacy? Like Dad got his medicine from one pharmacy, Barb gets hers from 2 other pharmacies. I get mine from a 3rd pharmacy. So you've got to be able to keep all of that knowledge in your head. Who's got doctor's appointments on what days? And you can be an at-home caretaker and still screw that one up, which is why I suggest using all the, getting a program that everybody can use to be able to verify all that with. It's a big step, kind of like retirement. Retirement's a big step. You have been getting up since you were 5 at least, and going somewhere every day, whether it be school or a job, and then coming home in the evenings. And you don't realize until you make that decision to quit your job how much that's going to affect you. And you are still going to be a home caretaker, and you're still going to be working your butt off, taking care of that family member, making sure they have 3 meals a day, can get to the restroom, that their laundry's done, that they have their medicine, that they get to those doctor's appointments. I mean, being a caretaker is a full-time job, but it's one in which you have a little bit more leeway, and the problem is you want to keep that on a pretty tight schedule. So not everyone is good left to their own devices, I guess is what I'm wanting to say. So you got to make sure that if you, one, are willing to quit your job, and if you can quit your job, is it necessarily the best thing for you to do is quit your job? Some people, their entire identity is surrounded by who they are at work, their career, what that is. It's not, hey, I'm CJ, I'm a caretaker and a spouse and all this stuff. It's, hey, I'm CJ the accountant, or I'm CJ the this, or the professional. And a person's entire identity can be tied up in what their profession is. And if that's the case for you, you might want to you might want to think twice about quitting your job to be a caretaker, because it might not be the best choice. There are all sorts of things you need to think about before you make this decision. Not only the financial, but you need to check what mental aspects is this going to cause for you. Are you someone who can even do it? Because being a full-time caretaker, like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. Please put your comments down below in the comment section if you have an opinion about this. I hope this has given you something to think about before you make that choice. And I hope you have an awesome day. Please like, subscribe, and share. And please make a comment in the comment section. I try to get back with all the comments. But I would love to be able to grow this community and to make it into something that can help lots of people. Thank you and have a wonderful day.